Welcome to the very first episode of the Dungeon Master King Dungeon Master. Roll for insight. I don't know. We'll come up with a name later. It's my Dungeons and Dragons channel. Let's, we don't need to get precious about it. So this is who I am. This is what you're getting. This is where I'm coming from. 50 years old. I've been a classroom, like a high school teacher for over 20 years. That's all incidental, but maybe important. As far as Dungeons and Dragons goes, I am something of a COVID bandwagoner. Did a little bit of TTRPG back in the day, high school, GURPS, Warhammer. What else was there? There was a superhero one. Oddly, never actual D&D. But then when COVID came around and we were all doing those terrible video calls, those dreadfully boring, awkward, but what else are you going to do because we're all quarantined video calls, I knew pretty quickly that I wasn't going to be able to handle that. So I started looking for a game, something that we could do. Trivia worked pretty well, because you don't need like a shared game board exactly. And then I thought, I don't know where, how, or when the idea exactly came, but I thought, Dungeons and Dragons, everybody's got their own personal character sheet and everything else is just talking. This is long before I knew anything about virtual tabletops or what people were doing in the online gaming space, and I just thought Dungeons and Dragons, we can do that, and I'll be the dungeon master. Why not? So I got the starter kit, which had a pre-written adventure, the Lost Mine of Phandelver, and it had some pre-made characters. I don't think we even used the pre-made characters, and I started playing first with a group of friends from work, to whom I will be forever grateful for being my test players, because I was as awful as every new DM is. It was fine. Everybody was having fun, but it takes a while to get the rhythm of this game and what it is exactly. So I started with them. We did Lost Mines of Phandelver, moved on to some homebrew stuff, made all the mistakes that new DMs make, which is to say, trying to take on, too much, homebrewing everything, suffering from DM burnout, canceling games, bringing games back. And this is all still online, by the way. We would just, even when the quarantine was over, we kept meeting through Teams was our drug of choice for video calls. Eventually, I found online playing just so frustrating to what I wanted to do, how I wanted the game to feel, that I just couldn't do it anymore. I wasn't looking forward to the games. I just had to dip out. Meanwhile, I had started an in-person group. We did a one-shot. I think that was 2 or 3 sessions. Then we did a module, Horde of the Dragon Queen, and then I introduced my homebrew world, and that has been the Aquamara group ever since then. After doing that for a while, groups being what they are, we were meeting pretty consistently. We've done well, actually, like about a once a month schedule with some hiatuses here and there. And Nerd Camp, we'll talk about Nerd Camp later. But of course, I have a somewhat addictive personality. I don't mean people are addicted to my personality. I mean, I find myself, when I grab a hold of a thing, I really grab a hold of it. So I wanted to play more D&D. So I started searching around for, some other, of my friends, and started a completely separate group, no crossover, with some other friends of mine. And that is the realm of Thaldor. And so that's been going now for, I guess I'd have to look back through my notes. But both of these, especially Aquamara, is now a multi-year campaign. They are level 12 or 13. Had to look at my notes. We're going all the way to 20 with this one. And the Thaldor group, I believe, are level 8 or 9 at the moment. And again, I fully intend to take these guys all the way to 20, all the while looking ahead to new worlds to build and explore. And so that's me. That's what I got. Oh, and I also run the D&D club at school. And by that, I mean I run a table for about 6 students, depending on who shows up on the day, and I encourage and mentor them or anybody else to be a dungeon master or game master and start their own campaigns, and that's D&D Club. So there you go. That's me. That's my cred. That's what you're getting. What I want this channel to be is as much as anything, it's going to be my sounding board. It's really helpful for me, I have discovered, to put my thoughts into words. I am a heavy journaler. I journal a lot. I sometimes refer to them as my thinky books. So I write a lot and I think a lot and I read a lot, and that all gets dumped into a few of my creative endeavors. Teaching being one of them. 3, my 2 growing up in one club, the Club Kids campaigns going simultaneously, and it is one of my life's great joys. I just love building worlds and putting my players into them, and the at the table experience, the live in person at the table experience is just it's just the best. I don't want to dump on people who are playing online, or for practical purposes that's the only way they can make it go. Honestly, any D&D is better than no D&D. All else being equal, I would highly recommend whatever effort it takes to find an in-person table and bring snacks, share the space with other humans. I'm going to keep each of these videos to approximately 10 minutes or so, and I can see, my clock is already nearly there. I just wanted to introduce myself and get this ball rolling, and I suppose I could try to tell you what to expect, but as all YouTube channels go, this is going to be one of those that evolves in the making of it. Of course, to whomever this reaches, I am always happy to answer questions in the comments. If there's a particular topic you want me to address, I got all kinds of opinions on all kinds of things. The first one you've already heard: in person beats virtual. A couple of other little, here, we'll end off. I got a couple of minutes left. End off with a little bit of my preferences and what you can expect. So, analog over digital, broadly speaking. I understand that, there are lots of digital tools and they do have their use, I'm sure. Maybe it's not just my personal preference. I know there are others out there like me who I'll make the digital the final stop. I'll do as much as I can, paper and pencil. I've got my collection of books. They're over there. You can see the pile of books. Honestly, that's so much as far as the bandwidth of human cognition goes. I'll do a whole separate video on this, I suppose. There was a period there where when AI became a thing, and anybody who's experienced DM burnout and then is suddenly, given this tool that can just endlessly spool out ideas and lore and monsters and things. I'll tell you the short version of that video is that I quickly got overwhelmed with my own lore, found I couldn't process it, and it actually became an impediment at the table. So I use AI extremely sparingly, and really mostly just for some summaries and spitballing, and then it goes back to the notebook, because there is a kind of a cognitive bottleneck where it comes to learning and processing lore in such a way that it can become fluent at the table. Not fluid at the table. Well, it is also fluid, but fluent, I think, is probably a better word there. So I have a definite bias in favor of analog over digital, paper and pencil over screens. And also, I am, broadly speaking, a home brewer. The books are great for canon law, and I do draw on that a lot. I like the idea that there is kind of a base level of accessible deep structure of lore, not the specifics, but deep structures that you can repaint and reskin over and over again. So it's fine, as far as I'm concerned, that you follow some stereotypes, problematic as they can be occasionally, but where elves are snooty, dwarves are Scottish, goblins are little rapscallions, the whole thing. It really helps with your players to have a shorthand of have you seen Lord of the Rings? Okay, you get how this works, and then build out from there. Start with rustic fantasy, start with the familiar, start with fairy tale-ish archetypal elements, and then build out from there. That's it for this first one. Just wanted you to know who I am and what this is. My name is Jason King, and I am a Dungeons & Dragons dungeon master, home brewer, milestone leveler, analog dungeon master of 2.5, I'll call it 2.5 campaigns, adults and kids. See you at the table.